Greetings and salutations to all my friends out there in YouTube land. Today's video is a bit different, as it's meant to serve as a warning and example of what not to do in a couple of different aspects. You see, if you're going to capture video footage to create content, it's probably a good idea to make sure that things are still working after you've installed some driver and software updates, not after you've captured a few hours of video footage. So instead of normal in-game audio, I'm going to give you a play-by-play of what exactly transpired today. Now, without further ado, on with how not to fly a chopper in DayZ. So we start off, here I am in the chopper, doing my normal checkup routine. If you'll notice, I'm just double checking to make sure video footage is getting captured, and like an idiot, not verifying the audio is there. Chopper starting up, we have the earplugs enabled because on the colony servers we have the earplug mod, a huge boon if you're driving any kind of vehicle. Chopper spinning up, I realize that auto hover is not enabled. PSA announcement, make sure you have auto hover enabled before you take off. Makes it much easier to get up to a flying altitude before you take off. Taking a moment just to kind of survey the area around me. And if you notice, you can see that some of the textures are loading after the fact. Even though I do have my viewing distance set up pretty high, there are some textures that just don't quite load right away. They take a few minutes. If you look at the top right hand corner of the screen at the moment, you can start to see right there as all the grass textures load up the rest of the way. That said, it's time for us to take off. And if you look, I am targeting myself towards that Waldo marker at about a little over 6,000 meters away. We take off easily enough. Auto hover is still enabled at this point, and we're just using the W key to fly forward. I notice that my altitude is starting to drop at a precarious level, so I've let up on the W key, tapping it a few times, held shift down a little bit to get a little more altitude, and I realize that things are not quite going right, so I'm trying to stabilize. Those with the sharp eye can notice that auto hover got disabled, and we are currently trying to right the helicopter using manual controls. Seem to be getting it under control, I'm trying to enable auto hover, it's not enabling. Mouse got enabled, and this is where everything has just gone completely off the rails. So we're going to pause for just one moment, rewind just a few seconds to the point where at about 1 minute and 51 seconds in, you can see that I almost have it recovered. What I should have done is just held the shift key down to increase the throttle and increase my altitude. And no, that's not what I did. No, dear viewer, I panicked. And you can clearly see what happened. Panic equals water. Water equals engine death and flames. And a drowning helicopter. Yeah. PSA announcement, if you're going to fly with auto hover, make sure you tap the keys, don't hold them down. And if you're ever going to fly where you turn auto hover off, might want to have a little more altitude before you try and right the helicopter again.